recorded.
How was it?
It was tough.
Little confusing.
Yeah, it was. It was. You said it was tough.
Yeah.
Anybody else opinion? See, I gave y'all a minty introduction into the CRA life. Oh, mini introduction. Okay. So were y'all able to look at all patients or no?
Yes, we did.
Almost.
Okay. Let me see okay, here we go. Okay, so for patient 88-123, what did y'all determine? This
88.
patient right here, based on the day they got the medicine and the day it was received, what did you determine? Based on this information right here. Protocol indicates 1 pill daily, and the visit window is 28 days plus 7. So was there any deviations there or everything all good?
I think all good.
With regards to the CRA verification date, the date of the
No,
the date is wrong.
not the CRA, just the subject. We're gonna get to that part.
Oh, okay.
Just the subject. Was his accountability okay?
Yeah.
Y'all said, were y'all able to look at that patient?
Yep.
Okay, so was the accountability correct?
Correct.
It was correct.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 28 days.
Mhm.
It's 28 days between June 11th and July 9th, and they brought back 7 pills. The bottle has 35. So that means they took the medicine for 28 days. So that is correct.
Yeah.
Okay. The next subject,
Mhm.
89-123. Are they compliant?
The okay.
Oh, that's
I think the pills they bought.
Or are there any issues with their medication?
they're 2 pills off.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're 2 pills off. So we need to find out where those 2 pills are. Did they get lost at the site level or did they get lost at the subject level? So as the CRA, we should be looking at the source to help make that determination. And if we can't find it in the source, we need to have a discussion with the study coordinator. But the study coordinator should have documented patient came in and said they lost the pills, or if the patient actually did bring back 5 and the site lost, that should be documented. So good job. All right, I like being able to see myself, guys, so make sure I'm not looking too far in the air. Okay. Okay, for 9123, how we looking as it relates to the patient?
They're good.
They're
I
good.
think good.
Because that again, that is 28 days. They brought back 7 pills. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
The next subject, 9124.
They're good.
Good. Mm.
Good. And they are good because even though this is 30 days, we have that in the protocol, that plus 7. So that's
Yeah.
why the pill has 7 extra
Mm.
pills in it. So they are good. Good job catching that. Okay. Now, our next subject, 9125. What about them?
No.
No.
Okay, now we said. So first of all, how many days did y'all count between the two?
27.
27. So if I was a CRA, this is how you would write that deviation. You'll say subject and their subject ID was Spence kit number and indicate what that kit number on June 25th, 2024, and return on 2022, July 2024. The subject should have returned 8 pills. However, they only returned 0.
No.
Source indicates patient loss, whatever the situation was. Subject indicates patient destroyed, whatever the situation is. But the reason why it's a deviation, not only because they didn't bring the correct amount back, but they didn't take from that bottle the 28 days specified. So that bottle does not say plus or minus 7 days. It says plus days. So because they only took it for 27 days from that bottle, they also didn't follow compliance as it relates to administration. So they didn't follow administration compliance and they did not follow returning compliance. Okay, good job, guys. Then our next subject.
No.
No.
No. Okay. So what issue did you find?
They returned it a year later.
Yes.
Well, good job. But it that supposed to say 2025.
If it is 2024, I think it's wrong.
Let me bag out.
They even if it is 2024, they returned after 33 days, so only 2 pills should be remaining, but it's written 4.
Okay, yeah. So that's correct. So 2 should be remaining. And we have 4 remaining. So for 2 days, they did not take their medication. So they're not compliant. They weren't compliant. Now, a lot of times protocol compliance as far as the drug goes is a percentage. So the patient might have to be 70%, 80%, 90%. So whether or not they're compliant will be based on what is that defined percentage. Right now, we're going to say it has to be 100 just for the purposes of this training. But again, read the protocol and see what percentage the patient must be compliant. Okay. And so now we're on the last patient. Are we compliant?
It's a no.
That's a big no.
Yeah.
So it's 28 days between the visit. So the patient should have brought back 7 pills, but they brought back 14. Now let's investigate this a little deeper. Look at the site staff initials. And what can you determine about that site staff initials? So that is a J and an S. So we have 2 JSs, right? Jessica Smith and Jennifer Stewart. Based on start dates and end dates and tasks assigned, what can we determine about that? So based on the end date, we can do what?
Take Jessica Smith off.
We can take Jessica Smith off. You can't be Jessica Smith because the patient was dispensed a drug in June and she left in May. So now we're with Jennifer Stewart. So does Jennifer Stewart have any issues about dispensing this drug based on the delegation law? She has a task. She has a start date.
On hers, no.
F.
She doesn't have delegation task I,
Okay.
dispense and return.
Okay. So but however, she did what?
She did it.
She
She,
did
she
it.
received it. I mean, she got it back on return.
No. She dispensed it. Her initials are here.
Yeah.
So she dispensed the drug and was not supposed to. So this is another what?
Discrepancy.
This is another discrepancy. And it might relate to something else. We're going to get back to that. Now, looking at the other site staff,
Mhm.
is there anybody else that dispensed the drug that should not have?
Um, can you take us back to the other page?
Sure.
Um,
So the initials we got
RM.
dispensing is KD. Yeah. So RM.
Yeah.
My other students, I'm not hearing from you.
Oh. No, I just didn't understand the last one. Like, how did you make like how did you make out that the wrong drug is dispensed over there? I am confused.
Okay. So these right here are the tasks.
Mm-hmm.
A through J. And these are the sign tasks right here.
Oh, okay.
This Jennifer Stewart, she does not have I.
Oh, okay, got it.
Robert Morton, he does not have I.
Okay.
But however, if you look at the staff that dispensed the drug,
Mm-hmm.
you got RM, so he dispensed to this person, and you got JS, she dispensed to this person. Now, you all determined that there were issues with this patient
Yeah.
and there were issues with this patient. So, as a CRA, would you attribute that
Yeah.
to them? Exactly. So, in your report, you will make that judgment call. Both patients that received medication that was dispensed by people who should not have dispensed the drug had a medication issue.
Mhm.
So now we need to retrain the pharmacist because the head pharmacist is responsible for this delegation law in addition to the PI. She or he needs to be making sure that those who don't have the task to dispense are not dispensing. And the reason why they might not have the task to dispense because they're pharmacy techs and they might not have the appropriate training to train subjects. And this is evident in this situation. This person didn't take for 7 days. And again, we're going to investigate that. And this person probably
So,
threw the extra ones in the garbage because they thought that they didn't have to bring back what they didn't use. Whatever the scenario is, it's possibly contributed to these two people dispensing a drug and not supposed to. So y'all understand how deep the CRA has to investigate that situation?
Yes.
Okay. So now we go back to the return. Now, has everybody returned the drug who can return the drug? So just jot down those initials right quick. That's KD, EH, and RJ. And then we're going to go back here.
KD.
So return is also I.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Subject.
did everybody that that received the drug can receive the drug?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So it's highly possible that KD caught this situation and made sure that Robert Morton did not collect the medication. Now we're going to go with the CRA. Now she is finding everybody's mistakes, but has she made any of her own? Okay, so we're going to go back to right here, the monitoring plan. It says the first on-site visit must be within 7 days of the first randomized subject. Interim monitoring visits are conducted every 4 to 6 weeks thereafter. Monitoring visits dates were June 20th, July 23rd, September 23rd, and October the 10th. So, looking back. Now, how can we determine the first patient randomized? We don't have the site source. But if this is all we have, how can we determine? We look at the what?
Dispensing date.
The dispensing dates. And June 1st is the first dispensing date. Okay? And then the CRA initial that she was there on June 20th. So did she follow her monitoring plan?
No.
Let somebody else answer. Did she follow her monitoring plan?
No.
No. So how many days is she out of window?
It should be within 7 days, but
Say that again. It's okay. We all here to learn. If she has a 7-day window and the patient was there on June
20.
11th, what is the latest she could have come?
The 18th.
June 18th.
The 18th. So if she came on the 20th, how many days is she out of window?
2 days.
2 days. So when she write her report, we have a section called the narrative. It's basically a summary of everything went on. She needs to explain why she's 2 days out of window. It could be because she had other visits that conflicted, they were already scheduled. It could be that she had a date before and then the site rescheduled. So she needs to document why she is 2 days out of window.
Okay.
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 Now, being out of window, but coming on the 20th, and this first person was dispensed on the 25th, she wouldn't have caught that then. But then she comes back on the 16th. How should she handle this situation? The patient returning 0.
You can't do it on the 16th because they didn't return until the 22nd.
No, but the dispense situation.
Oh, dispensing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, I guess she would have to write it up that the wrong person dispensed or weren't supposed to.
And she should also do what?
Retrain.
Retrain. She should also retrain. Okay. So the only 2 visits DH did was June 20th and July 16th. Now she also did the October one, but I didn't put it on the but it was no more patients to verify as it relates to the accountability law. But she also came October the 10th. Now somebody else came on September 23rd. She came, I guess, again, she might have been sick, something might have been happened. But far as that visit window, what did you all discover here from July the 16th to September 23rd? What did you all discover?
It's past the 4 to 6 weeks.
It's past the 4 to 6 weeks, and it's past the 4 to 6 weeks by 20 days. So in her report, he needs to explain why they're 20 days out of window. She also needs to handle these 2 situations. Mm-hmm. So as Ramona stated earlier, the primary CRA came on the 16th, so she did not see the July 22nd and the July 23rd issue, but this CRA did. So she needs to handle this. And back to what I indicated that I said we're gonna go back to it. If the patient both didn't return the right amount of drug, what do we need to make sure that the patient is not exhibiting?
Any adverse reactions?
Any adverse events. Now, the reason why both these situations is going to be they're going to probably be considered major or critical as it relates to the reported quality issues, because the reason possibly why these two patients had medication issues is because the person dispensing was not supposed to. So this is a serious situation. Now, if
Question.
go ahead.
So when the CRA came on the 16th of July, right?
Mm-hmm.
And discovered that the wrong person dispensed medication.
Uh-huh.
Retrained, wouldn't it be on the site to also call the participant to make sure that they are taking the medicine the correct way, that they were trained the correct way also?
They should have. That would be great clinical practice. They should have. But that doesn't. But they wouldn't know whether or not the patient was doing it correctly until they brought it back. So they could have been proactive and say, "Ooh, the wrong person dispenses drug. We don't know if they trained the patient correctly. Let's call the patient. Let's do some good clinical practice and write a progress note, document our contact." That would have been the smart thing to do, especially on the PI side. But who knows if anybody noticed it?
Okay.
So typically stuff like that doesn't get noticed until the CRA comes. So if they had noticed it, yeah, they should have called the patient and investigated. But a lot of times that kind of stuff does not get caught until the CRA comes.
Okay.
Any other questions? That was a great question, though. Any other questions? Okay. So we discovered 2 medication errors. We discovered 2 instances where the patient should be re-educated and the site should be re-educated. Now we're gonna go to, oh, okay. So my last question, if this visit was done on September 23rd, and
2024, right? It's 2024, right? September 23rd.
see, I think my automatic save was not on. So when I updated these dates, it didn't happen. So it's 2025.
Mm.
But either way, it was late. Okay. So if she came or he came on the 23rd and the primary person came back on October the 10th, is there any issues with that window?
Um, they
And
came earlier.
I think it's about 10. I think it's about 10. I think when I did it, it was about 10 days between the two
Yeah, they
visits.
came early.
Okay, did they? Anybody else want to give their response? Because you could be absolutely correct. You got June 20th, the 23rd, the 23rd, and the 10th. Okay, so they are absolutely in window. And the reason being is, remember, the first visit was done 2 days early, but the first patient was done on June the 11th. So we have to do the plus or minus for the 6 weeks based on the correct last date that the CRA can be on site. So all subsequent visits should be offset by June 18th, not the visit that came before. So every 4 to 6 weeks should be based on June 18th.
Okay.
Or if she had done it within window, the day that the CRA had actually came. So if the CRA had actually came on June 14th, then all visits should be offset by June 14th because that is within window. But because she came on the 20th, which was outside of window, we need to do the rest of the visits based on the latest date she could have came, and that would have been June 18th. Okay. Now we almost at the finish line, y'all. Y'all doing good. Okay, so if it's a way, if you have two screens, leave this on your screen, and I'm a go back to the accountability log. Okay, so we want to look at this. We got order number 1251-2051. We got transit device report good standing. We got arrival date of February the 19th, and we got our kits. Okay, everybody got a good look at that? Or if you can take a picture of it. If you can take a picture of it, take a picture of it. I give you a couple of minutes to take a picture. That way you don't have to try to go back and forth if you don't have two screens.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody got a snippet of it?
Yep.
Okay, now we're gonna go back to this. Now look at that first order, which is 1251-2051. And do you find any issues with this documentation?
Arrival date is 19 Feb, but here it's 20 Feb.
Exactly. So they have recorded this incorrectly, but it's a simple fix. Draw a line through it, change the date, initial and date. That's just a transcription error, not a protocol deviation. Okay. Now we're going to go to the next order, to 1251-2053. Are there any issues that you see? And it's possible that there are none, but I just want you to tell me if you see any issues.
Kit number 4003 is missing. I mean, I don't know whether you can tell.
Missing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the way this documentation is, they just went in order. So they went from one order slip to the next. So all they have to do is create another line and write April 10th, all the information related to that kit and add that kit number. So again, just a transcription error, no big deal.
Okay.
Okay. Now, your last kit, do you see any issues or potential issues?
I guess no.
Second.
No, I guess.
Okay. The next, anybody else?
Look at her.
Because everything we got June 2nd, we got the right order, we got the right lots, and we got the right kits, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Read that top line.
2057.
So it wasn't the right temperature.
It was not the right temperature. And read up here.
It needs to be quarantined.
Site did not report any excursions.
Yeah.
And go back to this. Guess who got that drug?
That patient.
That patient. So this is another major issue because we don't know if that drug was safe. So not only did a person dispense the drug that wasn't supposed to, the drug had an alarm or excursion that was never reported. And if you look at it, technically, this drug was deemed unsafe from June 2nd to June 25th when it was given, all the way to July 23rd. So that is almost 2 months. We don't know if that drug was safe. So it is so important that the sites pull that temp tail report and determine if that transient temperature was in good standing. They usually are denoted in a check, and then you'll get a graph to kind of show what the readings were throughout the duration of it being transported. Now, it might be determined because as soon as the site got the drug, they put it in the correct temperature, but we don't know that because we don't know how long. Well, they can determine it based on the report. It's going to say how long the drug temperature was out of window. But just for purpose of this training, we don't know how long the device was in transit and if that period of time deemed the drug unsafe. But because the patient did not take 7 of the pills, we can possibly assume, again, it's just for training purposes. We don't do assumptions in the real thing. But if a patient stopped taking the medicine on his own, it's possible it's because the medicine was giving them side effects. So we need to investigate that. Was the medication stopped because the person couldn't tolerate it? Was the medication stopped because the person just didn't understand how to take it? So I wanted to, again, give y'all a snippet of that CRA life because these are the things that we come across when we're doing drug accountability. We come across people dispensing that shouldn't dispense. We come across patients not being compliant. For whatever reason, our visits could be out of window or we don't catch things. So because we came before this drug was dispensed, because we came before this drug was dispensed, we was unable to anticipate this error, and because we didn't come in between the time, well, they happened the same day, we couldn't stop it. So, if this had happened maybe in July and this one had happened in June, well, let's say after this date, this one had happened in October and this one had happened in June, we could possibly have stopped it through re-education, but they happen on the same day. And for whatever reason, these 2 people who shouldn't have been dispensed. And then we need to investigate that. Is it because the PI was eager to randomize people and the other people were not at work? We need to investigate why this happened. So this is an instance where we create a CAPA, a corrective action plan. And that will help us determine what steps that we need to do to prevent this from happening again. Because again, this is a quality issue. This is above the CRA level. This needs to be escalated. And because it needs to be escalated, 9 times out of 10, the site is going to have to do what's called a CAPA. They're going to have to implement some steps to show efforts of not letting this happen again. All right, that was fun for me, guys. Y'all just should have seen my wheels turning when I was creating that document. Okay, so we're just gonna go back. So my last 2 videos, I did a list of takeaways. And this video, I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to allow each one of you to tell what you learned, whether it was something from the study site side that you didn't know or the CRA side that you learned. Tell me something that you learned today.
Well, I can say I learned a lot more from the CRA standpoint on what they have to do with each site, not fully knowing that everything that they have to go into.
So it's not I won't say it's hard, but it's not as, what's the best way to say it? It's more tedious than people expect, I think. Some people think that the CRA, they just look at the source, they look at the EDC, and that's it. But no, it's a lot of other wheels. It's a lot of that just to do drug accountability, we had to look at the delegation law. Some people might not even realize that in order to do drug accountability, you have to know who is assigned to what on the delegation law. And this is why I pointed that out, is because for new CRAs, that is a lot of mistakes that they typically make. They don't go to the delegation law. They just go straight to the, I'm gonna make sure the source match the system match the source, and that's it. But they don't even verify that the person who's doing all those roles are um, authorized to do so. So that's why I wanted to drill that in. That delegation log is very, very important when it comes to, especially your first visit. Now, once you get to know your staff and you know who's who, and it hasn't been updated with new staff or nobody has left, then you don't have to look at the delegation log every time you come, because you can verify any new staff, no, anybody left, no. And so that's any updates, because you do have times where people get a promotion. Let's say, for instance, that unblinded study coordinator was in nursing school and she became a nurse. She might now have more tasks, even though she's still a coordinator, but she might have more tasks assigned to her because of her license. So they need to end date that first one that lists her first task, and then they need to create a new line with a new authorization date that includes those new tasks. So that's also things that happen on the delegation log as well. Okay. So you're up next.
Yeah, I actually learned many things that I didn't know that CRA will do. I just know that CRA visit the sites and check whether the protocol is followed or not. But in the protocol, I didn't know that there's so many things to be learned, like even to train the staff, retrain the staff, to delegation logs, to verify whether the site is meeting the protocol or not. Like many more things. I didn't knew this. There's so much. Like I feel it is a very like an ocean.
Now I
So much.
didn't deter you from wanting to be a CRA or a sort of coordinator, did I? Don't be scared, because once you get in it and get in it and get in it, it becomes easier.
Yeah.
It becomes easier. But it was important to me to show both sides.
Yeah.
Like my previous videos, I didn't although I spoke about like what one does and what the other one do. I wanted to write it out this time because I wanted to make sure it was clear what the responsibilities were.
Mhm.
But don't be discouraged. Continue to watch the videos. Continue to participate if you know you have time to do so. Because I'm going to always try to give both aspects of what needs to be done.
So thank you.
Okay. Last but not least,
Mhm.
what did you learn today?
I learned about, like there is like a lot of documentation that's need to be done. I thought it's just, at site level, we just need to just check the delegation of authority log and report any incidents in the source documents. But it's like I learned today that, it has to be noted in EDC, in the IRT. This is a new thing I learned today.
Okay, good. So I feel good that you all learn some things, and I hope when you get the role, even as a study coordinator, if you know what the CRA is going to be looking for, it helps you prepare better. And and if you become a coordinator, a monitor, and you used to be a coordinator, you know what things to look out for. So these two um, positions really go on hand in hand. Now, you don't have to be a CRA that was previously a study coordinator, but it does help. It does help when you come from the site and you have done those tasks and you know how to be proactive. You know how to look at that accountability law. Now, had the site looked at that accountability law before that CRA came, they could have found those errors. They could have already had it documented. They could have already had it reported to the IRB, and it made the job easy for the CRA. All they have to do is review that documentation, make a copy of it to scan to the ETMF, and she or he is all done. But when the CRA has to find it, then that makes the process a little longer. to get the documentation underway. And what's important about this as well, the CRA has to have that hard conversation with the PI. Again, if this study has an unblinded portion, it's only so much they can say, but they need to make the PI aware that, hey, you had two site staff that did something that they were not authorized to do. And because of it, I will have to escalate this to the clinical trial manager. Now, I don't care how well you like a site, how nice the site is, please do not let them talk you out of reporting it, because at the end of the day, it's going to come back to you. You must report and you must re-educate. So this was fun for me, guys. Any final opportunities to ask any questions?
I have one question, Kendris.
Go ahead.
To like know the complaints of IP, are there like any tools that we use, at a site level to calculate the complaints?
There's a formula.
Clients. Okay, so sometimes it'll be a formula within the protocol, but if there's not, what you do is you divide the number that they brought back by the number that they were supposed to bring back. So if they brought back 25 and they should have brought back 28, you divide 25 by 28 to get that percentage.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But usually it's specified in the protocol, but sometimes it's not. And again, that's when a CRA has to put his or her thinking cap on. How do I calculate compliance? And then again, as far as the site is concerned, they should be already calculating compliance. It really should be the site did it and you verified it. But not everybody is educated. Not everybody is aware of what to do. They just say, okay, the patient brought back the right amount, and so 100% compliance. But when that patient doesn't bring back the right amount, they don't know what to do. So, but that's how you do it. How many they were supposed to bring back divided by, how many they brought back divided by how many they were supposed to bring back.
Yeah.
And you find that out based on the time between the visits. So you all did the right thing, counting the days between when it was dispensed and when it was returned. And that's how you determine what is the right amount they should have taken.
Does it apply to like the injectables or just the pills?
It applies to any drug that's sent home and brought back.
Oh, okay.
So if the study is just giving a shot, getting a shot rather, and that shot is always administered while the subject is at that visit, then typically the protocol is not going to have a compliance aspect because it's the site that's administering the drug. Now, for whatever reason, if the PI say, "Oh, the patient had an adverse event, we're gonna hold this dose, we're gonna interrupt this medication," then you need to document that. But that doesn't necessarily relate to compliance because that's a safety issue. And I don't foresee a site bringing a patient in repeatedly and not providing the medication, but in clinical research, anything can happen. And another reason why looking at these source documents and looking at these pill counts, because at the end of the day, the CRA has to also try to identify fraud. Now, we don't want to let the PI know that that's what we suspect, but you'll be surprised. Some people will make up patients, they'll dump pills out, and they arbitrarily leave some, have extra, just to make it appear that they're actually seeing patients. So if you get to a site and everybody is always 100% accurate, no matter how many days in between their visits, better start looking at signatures. Start comparing the signature of the informed consent compared to the signatures on the delegation log, because there is a possibility that these are not real patients. Now, you'll never, ever, ever tell the PI or anybody on the site that you suspect that. That's something that you discuss once you're away for safety reasons, because you'll be surprised if that PI's license and reputation is on the line. It's no telling what he or she may do. But again, if everything is always great, start comparing signatures just to make sure everything is on the up and up. Any more questions? Okay, so I really enjoyed test article, because typically when you become a CRA, the first thing they do is they're gonna put you on the blinded side. They're gonna put you on the side that just deals with the study medication. And so I like to train people on test article, because as you all just discovered, it's not as easy as people think it is. And a lot of mistakes are made either by the site or made by the CRA. Because if the CRA never finds issues and their reports always saying that the site is doing a great job, great job, we share some burden in those quality issues. Because if we're not catching it and they're not catching it, they'll never know that they're wrong. So ultimately, the PI is responsible for everything, but it's our job to make sure that the patients are safe and the data quality is correct and adherence to the protocol. So if we're not doing our job, we can't help the site do their job. I brought this out just to let you know these are my social media platforms. I'll do abbreviation of this training, just like a 30-second ad. It'll be on Facebook or TikTok, and the full video, once edited, will be on YouTube. I'm gonna stop recording here, but I'm still